Good morning. Good morning. I am feeling fly this morning. I actually took some time to put my face on. How are you guys? How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome to Tuesday. This is the Short Wise and Rise show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. I am the Queen Bee, as are you, or the King Bee, or the Royal Bee. We are an inclusive space. How are we doing? Good morning, Diane Ivory in the house. First past the post this morning. I love that you guys are kind of like go for it. First to comment on our lives in the morning. Diane, you are first. Good morning and welcome to the show. I hope you are feeling good this morning. Susan, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Gillian. It is beautifully sunshiny in Durham. It is not so here in Preston. In fact, it's dark. It's dark. It still feels like nighttime here in Preston, you guys. So we've got sunshine in Durham. We're straight in with the weather. We're not fucking about this morning, you lot. It's a bit shitty here, I'll be honest with you. I'm in Emma's morning routine now. I love it. I love it too. I'm so happy that you decided to join us first thing in the morning. Good morning, Lisa. I love it. I love it. She's bringing the fire this morning, Lisa Jane. Hello, sweetheart. Good morning, Sarah Finley. Emma Roscoe in the house. Amy Mantle in the house. I love it. You're bringing the fire this morning. Are we feeling good this morning? I'm feeling good, you know. I think, do you know what? It helps that the kids, we're up early. Well, I'm up early. I've just kicked Wallace out of bed to go and see to the kids. But we're up early. So it gives me kind of like 15, 20 minutes just sat here. Instead of just rolling out of bed and grabbing a drink and all of that, I put my face on. I've got my war paint on ready for the day. Also, I've got a little bit of filming to do as well. Look at my fancy ticker going along the bottom, you lot. Look at this. Tick, 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 tick. So it is official. It has begun. This month, as I told you yesterday, and as I've been kind of gearing up for the past few weeks, is Challenge Month, and also the month that we open the doors to be heard. So you want to be a speaker. So as you know, my day job, the bit that's my bread and butter now these days is I'm a speaking coach. I'm an international celebrity public speaking coach. So I help businesses share their business and mission message. And it's important, you guys. Like, one of the reasons why I do this show is to try and give as many of you a platform to share and speak about your businesses, because closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't talk about what you do, how on earth is anybody else meant to know about it? How on earth is anybody else meant to get amongst it with you? So we do a free challenge at the end of September and then again at the end of March. So we do it only twice a year, where this month we're doing it a little bit differently. We're going to have a pop-up group instead of doing it in the Hive. So if you are a member of the Hive, if you want to take part in the challenge, you're going to need to make sure that you click the links. So I am going to, well, along the bottom here, tick, 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 tick. It gives you the link that you will need to go to. Obviously, you can't click that, but it's the queenbeedani.kartra.com/page/be heard challenge. Even if you've done the challenge before, it really, really, really is. It's a real great space for kind of breakthroughs, getting out of your own way, building up your own confidence, especially if you did the challenge last time or the time before. Everybody who's done the challenge more than once sees themselves at a different level each time as well. So even just by engaging in the challenge once every 6 months, you really do see yourself come along. So I'm super, super excited for that. Please do get amongst it. Sign up. We've got some wicked prizes. So third prize for being involved in the challenge is a boss jacket and a Be in the Moment moments candle, and everyone, all of the winners will get a signed copy of my new book, I Am the Queen Bee: How I Overcame Self-Sabotage to Fly Anyway, and how you can too. Snappy, that subtitle in it. But it is about overcoming self-sabotage. It is a personal development book. I'm really, really proud of it. It's now all submitted. It is in the formatters, and we're going to we've got a photo shoot for the book cover coming up the week after next. It's all very, very exciting. That's third prize. Second prize is a Harvey Nichols hamper, no less, with a signed copy of the book. And the first prize for those taking part in the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker challenge is a £250 Amazon voucher plus a strategy session with me. So for any of you who wanted to pick my brains for any reason at all, business-wise, mindset-wise, and all of that kind of stuff, you will get a strategy session with me so you can take away some actionable plans, actionable shizzle for your business as well. So trying to help as many of you as I can. It is going to be an incredible week, and that begins the 28th of September. I'm going to be speaking about it every day. I'm going to be telling you about it, and the reason why I'm unapologetic for it is because it is with you in mind. I want you guys to be rising up above the noise. I want you to be speaking about what it is that you do. So that is the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speak challenge. Tickers going along the bottom with the information. I will make sure you will see a post every day on the Queen Bee Dani page and also in the Hive as well. Any questions? Slide into my DMs, you bunch of belters. This challenge last time was my first little taste of the Hive and the Queen Bee Fire. And Emma, you have gone on to do some incredible things, and I'm super, super excited for you to unleash upon the world all of the stuff that you've been working on. And your confidence is growing from strength to strength to strength. Just to see you kind of flourishing is just absolutely wonderful. Is this Rochester, Kent? Where is Rochester, Kent? Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves, I can see. StreamYard doesn't let me differentiate. Sarah Savory is feeling good today. Yes. Gillian Hall, can I say how amazing Books was yesterday? Totally inspired me. Isn't she incredible? Isn't she? Like, she is just, honestly, she's my heart. She is no bullshit. She's totally in tune spiritually. She knows where she's going. She's, oh man, if you didn't catch yesterday's show, after today's show, go back and catch it. We had an absolute scream. It was brilliant yesterday. It's a bit cloudy in Brighton. We've got a bit of shit for in Brighton. There we go, Brighton. You're all sorted there, sorted sausage. Rochester in Kent, it was a bit grey. There we go. Big love to you guys in Rochester in Kent. It's just around the corner from my in-laws, who, by the way, on Thursday or Friday last week, there was a massive explosion at the marina where my in-laws live. It was crazy. Oh, you guys, I love it that you're all close together. We need a Queen Bee meetup. We need a Queen Bee meetup, and actually on the 15th of October, there is just that. So there are still some tickets to be be inspired. If anybody wants to come along, pop Be Inspired in the comments and we will hook you up with ticket details. I think there's about 10 tickets left for the October meetup and for the October show and event. Super, super excited. Yes, Who Marina. That's where my in-laws live. They live on Who Marina. So yeah, they were not able to leave their houses for ages. They lost all of their electricity and it just went up. Craziness, absolute craziness. Right, y'all, without further ado, anyone else with an update for the weather for me? Holler at me. I'm ready. I'm here with my bees. If you are watching on my personal profile, the Dani Wallace personal profile, I can't see in real time your comments. You will need to either go to the IATQB Hive, it's spelled like this, or if you want to interact, then you will need to go to the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook. That's if I want to see what you're saying to me. Otherwise, I can't talk to you like I can do to Lisa or like I can do to Leslie. The meeting, where is that? The meeting is in Manchester. So it's Manchester at the Impossible, the 15th of October. That is Be Inspired. So all of my graduates from this particular cohort of the Be Inspired Mastermind, which goes on sale again at the end of this month. All of the cohort that are graduating will be speaking, and oh my God, they are amazing. So I'm going to be sharing with you the speakers this week, what they're going to be speaking about. It is going to be an incredible event. Those of you that have been to Be Inspired before will know it's an absolute love fest. We will be looking after you from a socially distancing point of view. There'll be masks available, hand gels available, and all of that. We will be socially distancing. We can't take as many as we normally take, so we are restricted on tickets. So if you do want a ticket, make sure you grab a hold of yours. Annie, I only got out of bed to listen. You don't even have to get out of bed to listen to me. You can listen to me in bed. It's fine. Right. Everyone, look, see, Gillian, no, you should have stayed in bed to listen. Although it is show up, wise up and rise up, like get out of bed. Come on, we've got shit to do. Okay, speaking of having shit to do, without further ado, I am going to bring our very, very special guest on to the show this morning. I've been following her journey now since we came into contact with each other in the last 12 months. She is absolutely wonderful with an incredible story and an incredible after story as well, which is what we're going to be concentrating on today. Please welcome to the show the incredibly talented, the remarkably resilient, the fabulous Sharan Core. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so good. I am so good. Thank you so much for getting up early. Like, you've done some juggling this morning to be on the show,
Oh my
huh?
gosh, yeah. It
You've
is the
had
life
to,
of a single mom, right? We are constantly juggling everything anyway. But this morning was something that needs to be put in a record book somewhere.
you did
I
so
managed
good.
I managed to get the kids to a friend's house, so they're gonna get sent off to school. They're gonna walk to school. They're really excited. For them, it was kind of breaking out of the norm.
Yeah.
So they're just really excited. So they were like beans this morning. They were bouncing around everywhere, really excited to go. So that really helped. I think that does. You know what? If they were really lethargic and just moody and groggy and stuff, that would have made it really difficult. But yeah,
If
I've
it
got
was
some
a few
amazing
weeks
kids.
into going back to school, then
Yeah,
yeah, it would have been hard work. But
yeah,
they're still quite
exactly.
excited to see their friends still, aren't they, after six
That's
months off?
right, exactly. So this morning went swimmingly. I even managed to put a face on and I got myself a coffee.
Girl,
So I am
you
on a
look
winning streak right now.
fly. You look fly this morning. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for juggling everything that you've juggled in order to be on the show. You know, it is only my fake telly show on Facebook. It's loads of people treat it like such a, like, they're like, oh my God, it's on my goal board to come. I'm like, come on my show, it's fine.
It's the
It's kind
place
of
to
become a
be
thing.
first thing in the morning. It is the place to be,
So,
and you've got people jumping out of bed to see you. So yeah, it's a great thing.
I love it. I love that people are getting out of bed and getting ready to get on with their day, as are we. But Sharon, tell us about what it is that you do.
Okay, so I'm a business and marketing coach. I didn't
Yeah.
start off as a coach. I actually started off. So if I just walk you through the journey, basically, of what happened and how I ended up in business in the first place. So I was
Go. Yeah.
married,
Tell us,
and
like
then
we'll just get
like,
you
let's
up. Let's
give it
get
a
in
whole
there.
shebang in one minute. Yeah, yeah. So I became a single mom, and I was kind of like really lost with what I wanted to do with myself. I was in an abusive relationship, and what happened was I dimmed the light got dimmed down,
Yeah,
and I lost
absolutely.
myself completely. So I was on a little bit of a journey. I had a 1 and a 2 year old. So my babies were still babies. I went into self discovery mode, right? I went
It's the
back into
same.
trying to
Do you know what? My kids were the same age when I had the same experience. When everything kind of stopped for me, and I was at the kind of the bottom, looking at the top of the mountain, thinking, "How the hell is it
yeah,
going to get there?" There was the kids. My
exactly.
kids were the same, 1 and 2 years old. They're babies.
They are babies. And the week it actually happened, both of them ended up with bloody chicken pox. So I was
Oh
like,
my
oh, for
god!
God's sake. Yeah. So I was like, could shit get worse? Really? And no, but the thing is, when I look back on it now, I'm just like, actually, do you know what? I managed a really difficult time in my life. I
Yeah,
managed to, I was still kind of like in that mode of learning how to be a mom and then
mm,
having to readjust to becoming a single mom. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, shit kind of hit the fan massively. And I was in a position where I was about to lose my house. My parents, thank God for them, they came to the rescue and they helped me out. But yeah, I think the journey for me basically coming into business was a self-discovery focused journey for me.
yeah,
I lent into my faith, and because I lent into my faith, I started creating some amazing artwork. Um, and then because I created this amazing artwork, I ended up getting sales, and then slowly that little spark ended up becoming a massive firework, and it just blew up one day, and I was like, whoa. So I ended up having an e-commerce website online, which I did myself. I was in a position where I had zero budget for a business. I just
hear
couldn't
you.
spend
Yeah,
all on anything.
right.
And I built my business up from literally $0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I built it into something that was visible online. I started networking, I started collaborating with people, I started meeting people. And then eventually, what happened was that business grew a second arm because I was networking and collaborating with so many people. I started helping them with their businesses, indirectly coaching them, and then I
Yeah,
ended up, because I'm a graphic designer, I ended up doing all of their marketing for them, getting all their graphics and stuff sorted out,
yeah,
banners, anything that they needed for exhibitions and things. Started getting involved in all of that, and then I realized that on a one-to-one basis I was coaching them into how to build their businesses up, and I was like, well, why don't I do this? I love doing it, it's
yeah,
fun, I get to meet new people, and I can really help them.
yeah.
So that being said, Sharon K. just kind of developed out of the blue, and I love it. I love being able to help other businesses, and I've still got my e-commerce business, still got my graphic design. I still love doing all of the creative stuff, but it lights my fire when I actually jump on the phone and I see somebody get like this aha moment, and they're just like, oh, why did I think of that? And I'm like, yeah, well, hello. This is going to be amazing for you. You're going to do so well. And then seeing them do amazing. Every time one of my clients is winning, I kind of feel like I'm winning all over again. Yeah, that's basically what I do.
Nice. So go back to when you first started creating artwork. What sort of artwork was you creating? Like where was you? So the beginning of this journey, you're creating this artwork. What sort of stuff were you doing?
So what happened was I had a house full of photos of my ex and the kids and myself, and it was really sad for me to kind of walk around the house and see all these constant reminders. So I went around the thinking of, well, he needs to go. I need to start again. So I don't want to replace him with anything else, because it's not going to be fair to the kids to then one day grow up and think, right, she just kicked him out the house completely and like he just disappeared. I didn't want that. So I had to replace his images with something that had meaning, and that was, I mean, I didn't want to just pick up like a gold mirror and replace the photograph with a gold mirror. Do you know what I mean? Like there had to be something there. So I've actually got a picture here. So what I started doing was I started creating, I don't know if you can see, artwork.
Oh, is that Ganesh?
That's a Ganesh. And
nice.
You can't see it now because of the light, but I actually create all of my artwork using vinyl. So that's actually cut out. That's not a painting, and it's not a picture. What it is it's on 2 different layers, and then in the background I install lighting. So it's actually a light up frame, but it's got vinyl on the front. So yeah, it's really cool. And I've got loads of these.
That's not just any ordinary artwork. There's real, like, you've not just started like splashing some paint around. It's like you've really gone like technical on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was lucky enough to be able to get hold of some equipment, and I learned from scratch how to use vinyl. And this is professional grade vinyl. Like, when you wrap cars, it's that kind of vinyl. Yeah. So you just, it's awesome. It's a great skill to have learned, and I'm really glad that I did it. But because I was able to design on that level, I then ended up going into like the marketing side of things. But yeah, so I don't just have the Ganesh. I have got like a whole ream of beautiful pieces of artwork. I do all the Sikh gurus. I've got portraits of them. Then I've got the Hindu side of it. I've even gone into Islam, and I've got a couple of Islamic quotes and things. So I really niched down, and I really went into figuring out exactly what I wanted to do. It was an accidental project that kind of developed into something with real meaning and passion behind it. And my dad is, so he's in construction. He lives in Africa, and he's had a business out there for so many years. So that entrepreneurial because he floated down, but because his very first job was as an electrician, I wanted to kind of mesh that into what I was doing. When you're Asian, like, so because I'm Asian, what we get a lot of time is don't go into the arts because you're never going to make money out of the arts.
You never make any money in the arts. Yeah, I hear that.
Become a doctor, become an accountant, become a lawyer, something like that, right? So that's basically the way we got it. And I did go into business and marketing. However, I always had this like, I always wanted to like kind of work on my career because I'm a really creative person. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to honor him as well. And so I ended up learning how to integrate electrics into my frames.
I love it. So they're beautiful. Like what a way to honor your dad. I love it. I just think that's gorgeous. So,
that was my little journey with my artwork, and then it kind of developed from there.
So when you say it developed from there, did you go and show this artwork, or did you get like your Etsy shop, or did you like the pop-up shops and then realize that actually because you have this flair and within this networking you kind of fell into it, or like how did that transition happen?
In the beginning, I put these portraits up. I've got some gorgeous portraits downstairs in my living room. And when I had family over, friends over, they would always be like, oh, wow, that looks pretty cool.
They're different.
And then when I turn the lights off, like the general lights off, and then turn the frames on, they'd just be like, wow, that looks amazing. So what basically happened was I started getting orders filtering in from local area, and then I
Yeah.
turned up to not trade shows, sorry, craft shows. So, like I would literally rock up with my little trolley and my frames, 2 kids in tow. You'll see on my
Yeah.
website, I had like a 1 and a 2-year-old, and I was there at like craft shows, like hustling hard, doing my shit. Sorry if there's any children. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, it's all right. This is a not safe away. Through 1 second.
I'm stuck indoors.
You're stuck indoors?
Yeah, I can't get out. I don't know where Dad's keys are.
Don't worry, it's okay. You don't have to leave for another, ages.
I know, but I need my lunch from the
All
shop.
right, we'll sort it out. Daddy will be back in a minute. She's stuck indoors. Daddy's shut the door in case she needs to go get some crisps for her lunch. This is going to be the juggle. We're going to be moving. Well, we're going to be moving the time of the show to 9:15 instead of before the school run, because it's hard. They all go to different places, so
It's
like some of them
isn't it? Yeah.
Well, they
I've
slept
got
in for the majority of lockdown. So now this week they're actually up at the same time as me. So it's been relatively quiet apart from Ivy popping her head in to say good morning. Now the other ones are up.
When I signed up to do this, I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. The kids will be in bed, it'll be sorted. And now the kids have gone back to school.
And they're
I was
back.
like, why did I not think about this before? It didn't clock to me that the kids might be back at school right now. So yeah, it's okay. We can adjust things around. I forgot what I was talking about.
We were talking about going to like the craft fairs and what have you. And in a similar spot, I would go to when I was singing at the time. My personal branding was quite vintage, so I would go to like vintage festivals, and I would have the kids in tow, and then they would sit there, and I would have to like get them chocolate or sweets or bribes for them to sit there whilst I got up and performed, and then sat back down and then took them home again. And this was all in the name of exposure at that point.
Yeah.
It's crazy the things that we do when we're trying to establish the things that we love.
Exactly. And you know what? I can't say it's would it be harder because we were single moms doing it? I mean, I didn't have any like kind of backup or help or people helping me out with setting stalls up and stuff. I would have to do it all by myself. You know what I've actually found is that during lockdown, especially, like my daughter's been listening. She's 7, and she's like the most amazing. She's just amazing. She's helped me out so much. I couldn't do this without her help, to be honest.
Right.
She's been a pillar of support without realizing, basically. And what she's been doing is that over the period of lockdown, because I've been working, she's been always watching what I'm doing. And she's like, do you know what, Mom,
sponges.
When I'm older, I want to have my own business. So as soon as we went into lockdown, she was like, Mom, that's it. Let's start a YouTube channel. Let's start our business up. Let's do this. And I was like, this is awesome, but I just I was like, I don't want you to have a YouTube channel yet, honey. You're 7. I can't even manage my own stuff. I'm not going to be able to manage yours as well.
That's it, because you've been really managing then. But your daughter's really talented. You were telling me about this just before the show. Your daughter's insanely talented. You guys, check this out. So she plays with your hair, doesn't she? You've got your beautiful, beautiful hair.
Yeah. And, so I'll tell you a little story about this first, actually. So when my daughter was born, I used to, when she was born and I became a single mom, I lost my shit completely. Like I just was lost. I chopped my hair. So it was a bob, right? It was literally, it wouldn't even come to my neck. That's how short it was. As she was growing older, she had beautiful hair, and her hair actually now comes up to her knees now. That's how long it is.
Wow.
But the thing is, because we're Sikh, I was just like, I didn't want her to ever grow up thinking that, well, my mom does it, so I can do it. I wanted to be a good role model for her. So I started growing my hair out. And as I've been doing that, she has developed this passion for doing hair. My hair looks like this right now. It's just a state because she's been watching like these YouTube videos, and she's been training. She was 3 when she could do a French braid.
My God.
And she could do it better than a lot of adults that I know. And
I can't do a French braid. I'm 36.
She knows how to do French braids. She could do mermaid tails. I think they're called fishtail braids or something. She can do buns. She can do like French rolls. Oh my God, she's really talented. In fact, let me show you exactly what she did
yesterday. Look at this. You guys, look what
she did this yesterday.
This is Sharon's 7-year-old. You guys, look how talented she is. It's just incredible. Absolutely, she obviously gets her creative flair from her mama, right? My God.
Yeah, she's very, very talented, and she does sit there and watch like YouTube videos. And what she had me do yesterday was she got a pair of tights, right?
Right.
She strapped it on my head like this, and then we rolled my hair around it, and then we pulled this over and just gave myself a hairnet. I won't do it because
Aha.
so, but that's basically what I was doing yesterday, and for her to practice on. And at the same time, well, my hair was really curly yesterday. So I have my
Yeah.
own show, which I run in the mornings.
Yeah.
And yesterday my hair looked fantastic. Today I look like somebody's like stuck my finger in a
Girl,
electrocution.
like I've either got a top knot or I've got a scarf on. So I'm not one to speak about having perfect hair because that doesn't happen in this house. Like I gave up on perfect hair a long time ago. I wish one of my in fact, Ivy's 4. There is time for her to be learning how. Like maybe your daughter can, as part of her entrepreneurial pursuits, can teach like people's daughters how to do it so they could do my hair. I
we
don't have to think about doing my hair
we
anymore.
are working. To be fair, we are working on something like that. So
Lovely.
I have another Instagram page called @Momivesti. It's been my journey over the point of becoming a single mom and what
Yes.
have I been doing. And she actually wants to take over that account, and she wants to actually start setting up classes for. She actually wants to help other dads because what she realized
Dad,
was
yes.
that whenever she pops around to see her dad, he can't do her hair. So
Right.
she was like, well, why don't I just teach him how to do it? And I was like, actually, that's a great idea.
Love her.
Yeah, why don't you teach her how to do it? So we could actually get like a daddy-daughter class set up somehow and get her to do something like that. So she is very entrepreneurial already, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, we've got a few things that we might be doing this year. Maybe next year, actually.
I just think like you know when you've had to be tenacious and when your kids have had to be around you from like that, not I mean had to be around you like you've inflicted yourself on them, you're the mum, but when you have been their integral role model, they watch and they absorb. If I look particularly Ivy, probably not so much because she's not bothered. She's almost 13 now. She doesn't want to speak to me anymore.
God, yeah. I'm not looking forward to those years.
Oh, like they're meant to get easier when they get older. They do not. They do not. But Ivy particularly is very, very interested in what I do. Like if you ask her what I do, and she gets all the language right. Like I see clients, I help them to speak, and
Yeah.
she started to kind of enjoy this kind of setup, and it's just so interesting to see what they absorb when they are around you, and for you to have been so tenacious and so strong and so resilient and so clever and switched on to have created that business and have it form into what it does now, where you're helping other businesses. I just, of course, they're going to think like that.
Yeah. And it is great. I mean, she comes into so I might be with a client one day or something. I do warn all my clients. I'm like, look, my kid might run in Batman underwear in a minute. And that's exactly what's happened. Let me tell you a quick story. I was in the middle of a client call and my son runs in his yellow Batman underwear. And he's got 2 chocolate fingers stuck up his nose. And he was like, you know, so that is literally, and I was like, I'm really sorry. But I have to warn my clients. I'm like, look, I'm a single mom. I've got the kids running around. They're in their underwear. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry, but it is what
there's
it is,
a feral
right?
situation happening. They're safe. They're happy. They're fed. They're clothed.
Yeah,
they're okay.
They're happy, they're
we'll
really
do some
fed,
work
obviously.
over here. It's fine.
And
my
daughter could walk in and she'll be listening to me, and I'll jump off the phone and she goes, she needed to niche down a bit more, don't you think? And I'm like, you're 7. What do you know about niching down?
Oh, I died. Here's the thing, and do you know what? I think lockdown has taught us this more than most. Is that the way in which the curriculum and the schools are set up is great. It's great to a point, in that the things that they can learn at home that they can learn with us by learning by doing. I remember being around my dad's butcher's shop when I was younger, and my mum and dad's cleaning company when I was younger, and I learned more about customer service and more about being front facing in a business than I ever could have done. Like I went out to work at 13 because we had to, because we all had to bring something in because things were really tough. But if I look at other families that were in a similar position, they all did the same thing. We all had family businesses, and the kids were in the business, watching, learning, absorbing. So I was able to fare really well from 30, 40, 50, 16, I was working full time when I was 16. And then that was it. I was traveling abroad. But I learned so much about being customer facing from when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, from my dad and my mum, watching them in their businesses. And that has actually seen me on better than any amount of Pythagoras theorem. And I know that's different for everybody, but having them be around you in your business is such a good schooling for them as well, a complementary schooling for them. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's ace. So tell me, how do you work with your clients now? So you now work within branding, don't you?
So I'm a business and marketing coach, and branding comes within that as well. So branding is one part of what I do. So how I work, because I am a graphic designer and because I'm very kind of creative minded, I do focus a lot with taking one-to-one clients on full branding. So I can come in and I can brand your whole business up for you, or work with you, obviously.
Yeah.
But then there's other things as well. Like, so for example, at the moment, one of the programs that I have running is how to sell on Instagram. Because again, my journey of becoming visible without realizing was actually learning how to use social media. So 2 years ago, I didn't know how to go live. I didn't know how to use Instagram. I had so you can actually go back and see this on my pages. And I've left it all there because it's part of my history and my growth. It's my growth.
You got to honor your journey, man. You got to honor your journey.
So one of the first videos I ever put up, I did not realize that you only get 1 minute on Instagram. Like the video that you put up on the grid, you didn't get 1 minute. I didn't know that, but I learned from experience. It's like, oh shit, I put a 3-minute video up, only 1 minute got put up, and I was like, oh well, it's a learning curve.
They missed out all the value bit.
Exactly. So exactly, missed all the value bit. But yeah, so I also teach things about social media, how to become visible online, and branding kind of falls within that as well. Like, how do you want to come across looking online? Because it's, your branding isn't just your logo. It's not just a pretty picture that you're going to put up. It encompasses so much: the way you speak, the way you deal with your clients, your customer retention process. Lots and lots of things fall into that remit, and it's about getting your clients to understand that it's not. So when I get a client come to me and say, "Oh, could you sort my branding out?" Yeah, of course I can. Well, what do you want? How should we do this? Oh, I just need a logo and some pretty pictures for.
You're like, girl.
And then I'm like, okay, well, let's jump on one of my free consultations. We'll sit down for like 20 minutes, and then while I'm sitting down with them for 20 minutes and talking them through the process, they're just like, oh, I didn't realize it encompassed so much. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you, like, there's so much more to just having a pretty logo.
And this is it with a lot of businesses, especially when they're starting out, or if they don't feel like they're getting their marketing right, is that actually what they're not doing is really embodying what they could and should be doing to make them attractive and I don't mean attractive like I mean attractive like to their clients, like to be a magnet for their clients. And a logo isn't enough. A logo, you look at the I Am the Queen Bee logo up at the top there. I mean, it could be a transformer for all anybody's asked about. But it's a simple linear logo that I can attach and just take around with me, and I could get it easily tattooed on my thumb. But I Am the Queen Bee, and actually everything that I Am the Queen Bee stands for is a whole belief set. It's a whole value system that we eat, live, sleep, breathe, turn up for every day. That's the brand. That's the branding. The logo is an extension of it. Yeah, absolutely. It's got to make sense. But that your artwork is only just the surface. Before you get to the artwork, you've got to really understand what it is that you do, why 100%. It is that you do it, all of those 100%. Things.
That, well, this is my way of understanding it, is that that you've hit a certain level of success when somebody says your name and then sees the image of the brand pop into your head. So if somebody said to me the Queen Bee, I would definitely think Dani straight away. If I saw your logo, I'd think Dani straight away. But what you're actually doing is you're making yourself a personal brand, and all these are just an extension. Like you being called the Queen Bee is an extension of who you are. Your logo is just an extension of who you are. Like, so say for example, I turned around and I said Kim Kardashian. It's not a freaking logo in sight. She doesn't have a logo. But because she's built herself up so much, she's got a certain value set that she puts out there, you know exactly who she is, unless you've been living under a rock for the past God knows how long.
Right.
You're gonna know who Kim Kardashian is, but there's not a logo in sight. That is what branding is. That is
Right.
how you kind of develop, a following, a loyalty with your followers.
Yeah. And it's the difference, isn't it, between being an entry level business where you're kind of dipping your toe in and you're just kind of doing transactional sales, to building a movement of following and being a magnet for people to follow what it is that you do. That's the difference between sort of branding and being a shop. You know,
Yeah.
like if you're just a shop and you're just doing transactional stuff, being able to scale that's going to be quite difficult if you don't have a belief system that is around it, or a value system that is around it. Whether we like that or not, and the people that stand out are the people that have that about them. That's the reason why they're standing out, is because they have all of that stuff underneath it.
Yeah.
People think,
Yeah.
oh, you know, Dani was a bit of an overnight success, really. Dani, actually, no, Dani was a whole 20 years of building up exactly what it is that I want to show the world. And it's only then when I show up in its entirety that it looks like I'm an overnight success. And actually it's not. It's a whole foundation of it's like having a sandwich, sorry. It's like having a sandwich with no filling. If you've just got a logo and a website, that's great. But if you've got no filling, it's not a tasty butty. It's not a tasty sandwich. But make it a tasty butty. Get the filling in there. Get the, get the pickles going on. Oh, don't, I'm starving now. Do you do that? Start making food analogies when I'm particularly hungry, like I'm starving this morning.
yeah, I do. And it's even worse. You know what the worst thing is when you go to the supermarket and you're trying to get your shopping done and you're starving, and you always come home with like the worst shit ever.
You just make poor life choices when you shop when you're hungry.
You really do. You really do. There's a couple of questions coming out here. Branding is such an education.
They are indeed. So let's have a little look what everybody's saying. Branding is such an education to your whole core. It's the whole core to your business and business development growth. Absolutely, Joe. Your branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Yes, sister. 100%. It's the personality. We're digging on this morning. Amy's asking us some specific questions. How do you start? How do you become the personal brand? If you have a shop for transactional sales, and I know why Amy's asking this. Amy has an online boutique for children's clothing. So I can see, like, Amy's thinking about her transactions. They are, people go onto her site and they buy kids' clothes and what have you. How do you start besides showing up like a motherfucker? Well, for me, you've got to show up like a motherfucker. Sharon, what have you got to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Be the motherfucker. Be and own that shit. I'll be honest, when I first started off my business, I was hiding in the shadows and I put my brand in front of me. The reason why I started, and don't get me wrong, it's only been in the last 6 months where I seem to have come out from behind the shadows. I'm more visible. I talk about my shit more. I am, like, I had this amazing business to do with my faith. And what I realized was I was still putting the brand in front of who I was. And it's only when I actually came out from behind the shadows that actually my business started taking off, and people recognize my name without having to, you are right. It is what people say when you're not in the room. And what I've actually found is that I'll get phone calls or text messages saying, oh, this person recommended you, or that person. And it is just basically about becoming visible and putting yourself out there first.
Yeah.
Starting off becoming the personal brand just means that you need to pull yourself out from the shadows. That's basically the bottom line.
Absolutely. Amy, people buy from people. So when you become the face of your brand, even though you have your business is a retail style business, it's a product-based business, actually people will want to come and buy from you, and they want to know who they are recommending.
Yeah.
So when you've got, like, let's take Shein, for example. Shein have influencers on Instagram, and it is those people that they are buying from. So what Shane do is that they gift lots of people, from micro influencers to like multi-million influencers. They gift them with their products to give them credibility, and it is from there that they buy. Now, if you don't have a huge scale business, because let's be honest, their business model is, I think, a lot of buying in bulk from China and sweatshops. I don't think it's an ethically sustainable business. It's just they might come at me for it. I don't know. But if you are, and I know that you are, what you're going to need to do is, instead of relying on influencers, which you can do, is get yourself in the front and become the influencer. Show up at the networking places, show up in the communities, show up at the pop-ups. You've really got to put yourself there, so that when you have a conversation with people, see how much it lights you up. And I know how beautiful the things that you sell are, that they're going to get, like, you want to go and, like with baby showers and stuff, you've got something coming up, or you want to go and check out Amy Mantle and her business. It's pretty epic. And that word of mouth is something that you can get buzzy without having to do that business of scale and having to do that whole influence thing. So that, I mean, for me is how I would go about it. I don't know what you think, Sharon.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Actually, it is very much when I first started out, it was all about my products. It was all about me taking the beautiful, like the flat lay shots and putting all. The only time I actually increased my sales was when I put a picture up of myself, or when I came and I talked about what it was, or my passion, or where the journey started from. It's only when I started doing those kind of things where people were actually connecting with who I was as a seller, and then they would be like, "Oh, actually, that's a really good idea. Let's buy." So about 2 years ago, I went to this festival called Art in the Park. It's based in Leamington Spa. It's a very big thing. We had over 50,000 people walk through on the first day, and it was a 2-day event. And yes, I sold massively. I didn't just sell out, I oversold, if I can say that.
Love it. Yeah, you can. Of course you can.
I literally was at the point where I had to say to people, you're not going to get this for another 2 months, because I hand make everything. So you're going to have to wait. Yeah, fine, no problem. But it's because I took the time out to build that relationship with them, and I spoke to them. They kind of got to know me. So putting myself at the forefront of my brand really helped me connect with people and get them to see who I was, where I was coming from. I wasn't just selling stuff off the shelf. I put my passion and everything into it, and there was a purpose for it being there. And because I connected with them on that level, they were happy to even wait 2 months to get their products.
And it is definitely that people buying from people. Leslie Kinney's just saying, for years I wouldn't put my photo on my business page, and I get more traction since I did. People want to see now more so than ever. People want to connect with who they are buying from.
Yeah.
Which is why, if they are a big company using volume, they use influencers, and why small businesses now it is becoming more and more fashionable to buy from small businesses, from grassroots businesses and sustainable businesses. What we're saying, Amy, was so right with this. Thank you. I did my first live on Sunday night. Yes, I did a month's sales in 1 day. No doubt. No doubt. Putting yourself out there is scaring. You girls are incredible. Thank you so much.
You.
So, Sharon, what's coming up for you? What's next for you on your incredible journey?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot going on. Like
it's a lot.
There is a lot going on. I'm currently running a program. So I went in to deliver my first module yesterday. So the program
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I've got a mastermind coming up in November. We are planning some really exciting, juicy stuff next year, like events and networking meetings and all those kind of things are all coming. So that's really exciting. I'm collaborating with some amazing people. Just what my main thing is right now, the people that are in my group, I really want to help nurture their businesses. So I'm very much pro collaboration, and so we're working on some really great collaboration projects. So got that coming. I have my own show on Monday mornings. I do a program with people in my own group. So I give them just like you do, Dani, you give us a platform to come in and talk about ourselves. So I do exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly the same, a little bit different. But yeah, it's called Girls Just Want to Have Funds, and it is basically focusing on small businesses who want to try and thrive during this period of time, and it's just giving them a little bit of leverage, a little bit of support in the background, and giving them a platform to come in and talk about their businesses.
I just think it is wonderful. Like if I look at the IATKB community and who is a part of it, we've got yourself, so many amazing women, people, and men who are wanting to provide supportive communities. And I just think it's one of the more beautiful things to come out of the past couple of years is that we're popping our head above the parapet, we're having a look at our own success, and we're saying to those that, like I was saying this yesterday to Buxo, I want to reach a level of success, and each time I want to turn around and put my hand behind me and say it's this way.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? Yeah. How incredible is it that you're there doing that for the people in your community, and you're coming in here and you're sharing with my, and more of that, please, everybody. More of that. No more tearing each other down, lifting each other up, providing safe spaces for communities to come together and rise up. Because here's the thing, in the next 12 months, unemployment is going to rise, and this is the rise of the entrepreneur. Finding safe spaces, safe people like Sharon, who is doing that very thing, is a phenomenal community to get a part of. It's a phenomenal mindset to get yourself into. That if you are in the entrepreneurial space, find the communities that are safe for you. And I know definitely, Sharon, yours is. I am so proud, and I don't mean this in a glib way. I have watched you from the set. You reached out to me about 12 months ago. And I remember being in contact with you then and watching the things that you have been achieving. And I'm just like, I'm still at the sidelines. I'm just like, yes,
thank you.
Go on.
I do remember the day I reached out to you, actually. I think you were doing a live in the GST or something, and you had this scarf on, and you were just like this massive ball of energy, and I was like, wow, she's amazing. Like, I need to hit her up and just say hi. So yeah, no, that was awesome. You are definitely one to leave an impression in someone's mind, for sure.
You're an angel. Well, Sharon, thank you so much. Can you do me a favor, and in the comments on the Queen Bee Dani page, if you want to put any links to any of the things that you're doing, your group, pop them in the comment section there, so we know where to get a hold of you, and where we can hang out with you.
Thank you so much for having me on it. It has been a riot, and of course there's like massive love to you.
Love to you too. That is Sharon Court, everybody. What an absolute diamond she is. And we are not letting up on the quality of our guest this week, nor do I any day of the week, right? So tomorrow we've got the incredible Claire Clark as an extension of the branding conversation. We're going to be talking about merchandise and how merchandise can really lift the lid off your business, especially when we're talking about things like social proofing. We'll be talking about notebooks. We'll be talking about all of that sort of stuff tomorrow. On Thursday, we're going to be getting into the mindset of confidence with the incredible Lisa Hawkyard. Her story is phenomenal. Can't wait to share her with you. And then we've got Tisha Braid joining us on Friday. It's going to be an emotional week. We've got lots coming up for you. Please do make sure you stay with us 8 a.m. Monday to Friday. If you are not signed up already to the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge, make sure you do. The link is just below. You can go and find out more in the IATQB Hive, where we carry on the conversation, where you can share your wins, your challenges, your successes, and also ask your questions in there. We are a font of knowledge. There are people that are 7-figure business owners in there, and we've got people that are just starting out, and everybody in between. So please do come along and join the IATQB Hive here on Facebook. To come and join the conversation. Right, you guys, have an incredible day. Make sure you sign up to the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge. I want to help you guys talk about what it is that you do. Let's get amongst it together. It kicks off on the 28th of September. Have an incredible day, y'all. I will see you in the morning. Bye then.